Tonight, we're looking at people who are often vilified as they execute their duties. These are the men and women in uniform. Statistics already indicate that they carry the highest burden in as far as gender-based violence, suicide, and post-traumatic stress disorder. What is being done? Are there interventions? Tonight, those are the questions that we're going to be putting to my panel that is made up of none other on my immediate left. That is Dr. Razila Onyango, the Assistant Inspector General, National Police Service spokesperson. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. And the far end on my left is none other than Madam Cecilia Mboya, who is a counseling psychologist at the Africa International University. How's it going so far? That's that. How's your day so far?
The day has been fine. Sunday, it's been quiet. The country has been quiet, and we are moving on.
When I hear from a person in uniform saying the country is quiet, I best believe that it is quiet.
Sure it is.
All right. Madam Boya, how's been your day so far?
My day was great. I had a peaceful day.
You had a peaceful day?
Yes.
Then we start on that particular note.
Yes.
Statistics do not lie.
Yes.
And we've seen the grim statistics when it comes to matters of mental health in this particular demographic. And that's why we're here this evening. From a psychologist's point of view, why do you think that this particular demographic, our men and women in uniform, carry this highest burden when it comes to mental health?
Thank you for this opportunity to come and address some of those issues. One of the greatest challenges police force has is that they have all the problems we have as civilians. Then on top of that, they have challenging work, challenging job. They're always in dangerous positions. They're always fighting. They're keeping the law. They are making sure that we are safe. And that means their job is challenging. The environment they have to work in, call of duty, sometimes they have to work for long hours, far from the people who love them, their family members. Sometimes the environment they're working in is not very encouraging, and all those kind of things contribute to some of the things that you see with them. And especially some, they are very traumatic experience that they go through. Yes.
Now, Dr. Razila Onyango, you have been in this profession for quite the number of years. Give us a sneak peek to one of your most harrowing days in your career.
Well, there are quite a bit.
Yes, just pick one out of the many.
When a kid has been defiled, and a very young child, a child of tender age, and then we had to make the child explain. I was in Buruburu police station at that time. And that takes a toll on you at the end of the day.
Yes.
And the reality that is a child, and then there is the police officer that has to listen to that story and try to make sense out of what the child is saying. And it's not one child. This is an incident, similar incidences, as Cecilia says, the nature of our work, as it were. You'll find the experiences we go through, the accidents we see, the very disturbing scenes of crime that we manage, and we finish that, and nobody's there to console us. We do it and we wait for the next.
Yeah.
That takes a toll on any police officer.
Now, from a personal point of view, how have you handled it over the years?
It may be for me personal.
Yes.
We are all having different personalities, but I've never sat before a counselor to be counseled. Yeah, so it already speaks to volumes to the nature of our work, that we go through all this, and we also don't talk about it.
Don't get an opportunity for
very easily for the debrief. So it may not be a personal issue. It's what the work entails. The nature of the work, the stress that goes with it. The toughness is part of the training. That the police officers, sometimes you forget that we are also human beings. But we are as human as you are. It's only that the call of duty that we have makes us to remain a little bit stronger in the face of danger, in the face of those very harrowing incidences that we see or experiences, so that we be there to serve the people that we've been called to serve, which is humanity. So that's where we normally draw the line. So at the end of the day, it takes a higher toll on us, more than it would take on an ordinary member of public.
So for Dr. Razila, I mean, what has been your anchor? And I'm asking this because so that we can understand. We know we have different dynamics as humans.
Yeah.
But from where you sit, what is it that has held you together all through these years of service?
I think I just stay close with a few friends I talk.
Okay.
To be honest, I talk with one or two friends that you trust along the way, and there are those I've trusted along the careers. Some of them are very senior to me, but they've been friends for over the years. At least that has helped, because we go through different experiences. Apart from what you see at work, as Cecilia said, we live very far from our families. And that also is a very big challenge to us, and you have to get somebody to talk with. So apart from my faith, talking with a colleague is one thing that I would encourage at all times.
Now, Cecilia, you've actually had a direct testimonial, so to speak, tonight on this particular panel. That the workload and the work itself is not conducive, but it has to be done because that is law enforcement. And something has come up that a majority feel that they cannot seek counseling, or there's no room to actually seek counseling. How do we address this?
One thing I really want to appreciate National Police Commission Service Commission. They have this program for counseling. We had this at Africa International University this last week, and we saw that we were able to interact with the program they have, and that's why we are doing partnership. We have very trained counselors in police force. They are doing great job there. The only challenge is that they may need more capacity, and that's why Africa International is coming in to address, to increase the capacity, the awareness, and also increase the manpower and more awareness. We are saying we want to make people understand police officers are our parents, our fathers and our mothers. They are our children. They are our brothers and our sisters. They have families back home. When we are throwing all those bad things to them because of few incidences here and there, we need to understand, to humanize what they do. These are human beings. It's only that maybe because they look like they are in the newspaper, in the media. They don't look like people. These are our brothers, our sisters, everything. And that is what Africa International University, through the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nelson Makanda, we have decided to partner with them to address these issues, to add to what they have. They are already doing a lot, by the way. Counseling. A lot of things is happening. Support. And then support, and then train more, so that we can get peer counselors also, who can also go, like if this madam comes to AIU, for example, she'd be trained, she will influence her friends will influence the others, where we cannot reach. They will reach.
Capacity building.
Yes, capacity building.
We take our first break tonight. Remember, you can get us on our various socials, including on X at KBC Channel 1. And the question tonight we're posing to you is, why do you think our police officers are susceptible to committing suicide? Let us know what you think about that. You can get us on X at KBC Channel 1. Tonight we're talking about mental health, the interventions therein, as well as why we need it. A quick breather, we'll be right back. Mental health issues among our police officers. That's a conversation tonight. And before we took that breather, we were having Cecilia Mboiza, a counseling psychologist, tell us that it is the perceptions of the public, that have painted police officers as being more out of touch. We're joined by none other than Dr. Razila Onyango, who is Assistant Inspector General and National Police Service spokesperson. So, as a law enforcement officer, you're so human, but then how do you draw the line when your call of duty actually puts you on a collision course with the very public that you're supposed to protect? How do you balance?
It all goes back to the training.
Yes.
You know, we are trained as law enforcement officers. We are properly trained. Of course, there is no limit to training. Training should be continuous, which we encourage, and that's why even in our objectives within even in the Constitution, one of the objectives of the National Police Service is to keep striving for the training of officers to the highest level of competency, and so professionalism is what we strive always to maintain and to achieve. So, and we took an oath of service also to serve. Remember, our main mandate is to protect life and property. We are here to serve and to protect. So you just balance based on your training and the oath of service, and officers have the discretion, that discretionary power to make the decision. Remember, our work is defined by danger. Our work calls for split-second decision-making that we have to make as individual officers. And so all these things come into foreplay. The circumstances under which officers are operating will determine how they are going to react and the kind of decisions they are going to make.
Split decision-making. Now, I'd want some of the views have come in that have said, then, ask Daktari, how do you say no to your superiors?
Yeah.
Because this is something that has been raised by junior officers.
Yeah, that's an excellent
question. And we want to
question.
know if there's a cause of, redress for junior officers who feel that either the duties that they said, how do you say no, the police force?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, as
Yes.
I've already said. We are not trained to take unlawful commands. We are trained to take lawful commands. That is how officers are supposed to operate. But then there are also mechanisms that are in place to address grievances of officers themselves. As we said, officers are also human beings, and there's no perfect community. They may also reach a point where they feel they need to be helped from outside, and that's why we have even the oversight authorities. Okay, we have the internal one, which is the internal oversight authority within the police, but very independent in terms of their operations. Then we have the external oversight authority, which is IPOA. They also, when a complaint is raised against police, whether it is raised by a police officer or a member of public, they will be able to help the police. So officers, and of course there is the court, so officers are not tied, that they cannot seek help outside. But as much as the professional conduct is, a good leader, you will give officers the right command.
The right command.
Yeah.
So is there room to actually, for a junior officer to not comply with a command? Since
unlawful.
Yes.
Unlawful. They have
an unlawful
right.
command.
Yes, they have the right not to comply.
All right.
Yeah, unlawful command.
I hope that answers your question back at home. Remember, we are open and we're taking your comments. You can get us on X. We are unpacking mental health issues, just looking at what is really affecting our servicemen. And thank you very much for your feedback. Keep it coming. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. That is on X. Now, transparency and openness is something that, transparency is something that the police force is struggling with. Would want to know how then this has affected how you carry out your law enforcement, duties with the members of the public. Do they let you? How is the feeling on ground, especially for the last several months that we find ourselves?
One of the objects that the National Police Service is tasked with in the Constitution touches on promoting transparency and accountability. That is one of the objectives. And so I've already mentioned that one way to enhance accountability within the service and transparency is the oversight authorities, which I've already mentioned. As a service, ourselves, I think we've opened up very much. The police has changed very much.
Yes,
yeah. So right now we have very many avenues of communication with the police, even through the media. We are even on social media. We one-on-one, communication with the people who are affected. So we remain accountable to the members of public because we are here to serve the members of public.
Now that you're talking about service to members of public, we understand that you have rolled out a counseling program targeting men and women in uniform. Maybe Cecilia Mboya, you can tell us exactly what it entails, and also we can hear from Daktari then, who are the main beneficiaries?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we have rolled, last week, this week, on Wednesday, we had this launch, and it is, the partners are 3. We have Disability Mainstreaming Foundation of Kenya. We have National Police Service Commission and Africa International University. Okay. The aim of this launch is to advocacy. Part of it is advocacy. We want to have people more, especially police force, more aware of the mental health issues and how they can be assisted. So this partnership is just one of the sectoral approach to assist the police force, and also training.
So to assist the police and also build capacity. Now, Dr. Razila, this particular partnership or training in terms of counseling, who does it benefit? How does one benefit from that?
Maybe I bring you as to how we come into this program. One is to appreciate that addressing matters of mental health in the National Police Service are very critical. And these are very pertinent issues for the fact that we've laid the ground that officers work under circumstances that are stressful by the nature of the work. And so we are more susceptible to mental illness than general public. So our IG, Mr. Douglas Kanja, he has a priority to transform police stations into centers of excellence for service delivery to wananchi. And he looks at it, or as a service, we look at it from this way. One, how do you transform the police stations? One, you train officers so that when you train the station commanders, for instance, you are able to standardize the way they are going to serve wananchi, so that when you walk into a police station here in Central Police Station, another person walks into a police station in Turkana, the service should be the same. Yes. Yeah, I shouldn't have to know somebody for me to be served. That is one. Number 2 is to address the issue of mental health, for the fact that if you don't have mentally stable officers, you will not get that standard or quality service that you want. And so this is how we came into partnership with the Africa International University, the disability mainstreaming, so that, as Cecilia has said, we have counselors. Yes, the National Police Service Commission has deployed for us some counselors, but they are few compared to the numbers of officers that we are. So it builds also capacity. Yes, so they are helping us build the capacity and to decentralize the services down to the levels where we are able to reach the officers. And the best place to reach officers is at the station level. Is it open to everyone, including those who retired from the force? No. Okay. For now, unless Cecilia, you have opened it to them, as far as I know, it's mainly targeting officers who are in the service. But they could be generous enough to have extended that, which we will still appreciate to hear from her. What is happening at the moment? As we come to a close, I know we have another moment. At the moment, we are accommodating, we are having the current ones and their families for counseling. Okay. And training them. But Africa International University has some, to make it affordable, they are giving 50% discount. So it is not entirely free? You see, we have manpower, we have those who train. Okay. That's why we are giving 50%. By 50%. So I want to give Dr. Razila the last parting shot as we come to a close, since we are out of time. Just close the Sunday Express for us with a clarion call in regard to matters of wellness. I will tell you. That's your camera there as we come to a close. I just tell fellow Kenyans that police officers, we are your brothers, we are your sisters, And above all, we are human beings also as yourselves. We are here to serve you, and we ask you to just work with us and appreciate that we work at some of the most challenging circumstances, from the borders of the country to the lowest coast of the country, even to the urban centers. Our work is much more tasking and more challenging than the general work. Thank you.
You've heard it from Madam Rezilia Onyango there, and she closes for us this particular Sunday Express program. Cecilia Mboya was also here with us from a counseling point of view, is that police officers, men and women, are human. Let's try and remember that. Have a pleasant week ahead. I'm Regina Manyara.